So this one is interesting because after playing the alpha, the play test, um, the controls. I mean, with anything, if you're playing a new game, regardless if the controls are similar to something you've experienced before, you're still going to kind of be fumbling because you don't know the game system yet. You don't know the characters yet. But I will say with this game, it was a little weird because it's simple controls, but also I was playing it probably the more execution heavy character in the game, Yasuo. He has stances, so it's like that made it a little harder. Like he has so many moves, and you go in the stances, and it's like you have to go through these buttons, and it's like there's a lot of stretching the fingers because like I usually play on pad, but I play this game on stick just because that's what I played it mostly on when it came out, and that's what I got comfortable with. It was a little brain scrambly at first, but I mean, it's like again, with something new, you learn it, you get around, you're with it, you have a time with it for long enough, and you kind of get used to it. So by the end of the play test, Yasuo just felt kind of normal to me. You play a character like Ilaoi, and she's a lot more straightforward. Just like you have, of course, the same thing with the special one, special two, but she's a lot more straightforward. Because again, like I said, Yasuo was a stance character, so I'm coming at this from a stance of playing a character that's innately more execution heavy by default, especially if you want to try to be more optimal with the character. There was some things like the loops and stuff he could do, like getting high damage. That it took some execution. It wasn't like overbearingly hard, but just like remembering like the button sequences. I think that's remembering the sequences. I think was the hardest thing, and of course that's in most fighting games. Um, but I don't think it's gonna keep people away because I mean people's all plays Tekken. I've mentioned before, like Tekken uses the chain input system, which is like you press a button, it just comes out with the next button. Street Fighter doesn't do that. They have chains in Street Fighter, but it's mostly for like jabs and your target combos. When it comes to like doing links and stuff, that's just not intuitive to most people. They're like, wait, I have to like time this in a certain amount of frames for in a window. But
Yes.
something like Tekken, you just press buttons like Virtua Fighter, DOA. Most of the 3D fighters are like this. You press the buttons consecutively, and if there's a string in the game, it's going to come out. A combo that's in the game for those consecutive buttons is going to come out. Um, so I think people are still going to play it. It still gives people like, hey, I can press this one button, special one, and I get a special. Special two, I get a special. So that's still going to keep people, I think, playing the game. Now, of course, if you have that person play against somebody that's like tenured, they're gonna be like, okay, this person's doing a lot to me. And it's just like with any other fighting game. If it's got Hadoken motions, quarter circle motions, if it's got one button, they're gonna be like, dang, this person is bodying me. So that I always say controls are not what gonna keep people maybe people stick around for a game. It's gonna be something else. Because you can put easy controls, simple controls, whatever you want to call them. People still gonna like play it if they want to, and if they don't, they won't. I'll tell you one game I think did it right is DNF Duel and Granblue. Like I feel like really that's the formula we should use. Like I don't think there was any reason to like go away from that. But I get how they want to try to incorporate the feeling of League into a fighting game because if you notice like there's like specials that have to like different buttons that you have to press for different specials and stuff like that. So maybe that's what they were going for to try to translate the style of League of Legends into a fighting game form. I think it's kind of working. It may need some work, some tweaking, but you know, we'll just have to see when it comes out. Maybe they'll make some changes to it.
Or just on you, E.
I agree, I agree with Mr. Game and Lift because like the whole situation is like yeah, like simple controls will definitely get people in the door, but it's it's definitely not going to be what keeps them there. I think like it all comes down to your mechanics, like what how the game actually plays and all that. And it's I mean like you said before, like Tekken is a what I would consider is a pretty simplistic input game because there are some motion inputs in the game, but for the most part, they're all like, directional inputs. Like it's all like down forward one, down back two, up forward three, stuff like that. So they're pretty simple inputs. But then of course, I guess it's like, what it comes down to is like all of the games, every game that you play, at least in my mind, most of them are going to be like they're going to have like a certain like base level where it's like, okay, I'm in it, I'm playing the game, I'm enjoying the game. But then there's like higher tiers when you start getting higher up, you start playing people who are like actually like playing the game, like playing the game regularly, that are just going to be like, oh man, I'm getting bodied. It's like, yeah, because you're playing people who really like there's some, it's like all about your investment into the game, right? Because I think that's what really determines it, because people who really want to be there are going to stay there for the long haul. I wasn't good at Street Fighter 6 when I started playing, and like people who are like at that higher level would just body me all the time. You know, like people in like low platinum, even like gold and stuff like that, will body me, you know? And you know, those are the people that are there for the long haul, you know, that are not really playing like at a casual level. They're just like they're going to stay there and like play to get better. So I think like, you know, it basically what it comes down to, at least in my mind, is that every game is going to kind of reach that whole, you know, for lack of a better term, sweaty level if you stick with it long enough. You're going, even without even thinking about it, if you're going constantly playing and you're constantly learning, eventually you're going to get up to that level anyway. So I feel like, yeah, I mean, the game kind of does like go that direction. Like, you know, you go into like the higher tiers of like, you know, like it's like a Marvel MVC kind of feel to it. But I mean, when you're playing a game regularly and you're constantly trying and you would say, oh, I really like this game, I think that like that means you're committed to playing the game regularly. You're going to go in that direction anyway. You're going to want to learn more stuff. You're going to want to learn all that stuff. So I feel like, yeah, it's going that direction, and it's going to like have that feel to it. But if if you don't want to stick around for that, then you're probably not going to anyway. It's just the same as any other fighting game, right? Like you either like it or you don't. If you like it, you're going to stick with it no matter what the adversity anyway, right? So, the simple controls, I think, just make it easier, for a little bit easier for people to like grasp what's going on. It's like, instead of like having to sit there like, oh man, I'm not sure how to do this move this way. It's like, oh, okay, well, I don't have to spend a whole lot of time on my execution necessarily on executing them. I just have to learn like the sequences, like on Mr. Gaming Lift. So I'm just focusing on learning sequences instead. So I don't know. I mean it seems okay to me, at least.
All right, everybody, look at me in my nice eyes that my grandmother used to always tell me were really nice and made me a handsome young lad. Until you guys get to the point to where you can go inside ranked or fight against other people in fighting games and stuff like that, you will truly never get fulfillment in knowing that I mastered this game, or I did the best I can do in this game, or I truly toppled this game. Like, imagine playing Call of Duty or something back in the day, and you get the Call of Duty, you get Black Ops and stuff like that, and you never go online. You constantly just playing single player modes, fighting computers on, whatever stage that you're on, that you like to play on. Me, I like going on the boat. I forgot the name of it now, but it's close quarters. People can't run and hide, a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Blase. Like, but imagine like you never took that step into going online. You never was confident enough in your skills to be like, you know what? I'm gonna go online with the big boys. I'm gonna get on a team. I'm gonna play team deathmatch, and I'm gonna do it. Like, you're gonna have to do that in fighting games. You're gonna have to get to a point to where you actually go and you're playing against some people until you can get to that point to where you just feel confident enough. And I ain't even say you gotta win, because most times in fighting games you're gonna lose more than you win unless you somehow like Mr. Gaming Lift. You're gonna have to go and get that confidence enough to where it's like I can at least go and like fight people, because like that's how you get that true fulfillment out of like playing a fighting game. It's mano a mano, me against you, 1-on-1. I know I can come out on top. Like, and that's what you're going to have to do with fighting games. You can make the controls as easy as you want. We ain't got to what Harada is basically saying yet, to where it's like, well, eventually AI will take over. Somebody just, press a couple buttons and a whole 30-hit combo come out. We ain't got there yet. So y'all going to have to get in. It don't matter if the controls are ABC 1, 2, 3. Like, you're going to have to go in there, train, grind, and be able to stand your own against other people. And that's what innately fighting games are. You're gonna have to go and grind. You're gonna have to develop that mindset that it's just me. I'm in control of my success and how good I get. It's nobody else's fault. It ain't because dude forgot the flank on whatever, whatever. Like in these team games, like you're gonna have to go in there and grind, and you just can't escape that with fighting games. If you want to play 2XKO and get good and do the best that you can, man, you're not going to escape that grind. Like, so to just get intimidated and just, get in there like, oh, this dude just did a 50-hit combo on me and then quit. Like, you wasting your time. You're not going to get the best out of it. Like, you're not going to get the most out of fighting game. You're not going to feel fulfilled. It just is what it is. Like, and I'm just that type of person. Like, stop making fighting games easier and talking about more accessible and all this crazy stuff. It ain't for everybody. It's not for everybody. Like, if you just not that type of person that's willing to get lumped up and keep going because I can be better, like, just stop playing the game. Stop. All this easy access, stop. Because at the end of the day, it's going to get to a point like what Rod is saying with AI, that ain't going to be a fighting game no more, bro. Like, what are we doing? This ain't even going to be worth buying no more. Basically, I press down, X and get a 20-hit combo. Like, come on, bro. Stop. You ain't fighting games no more. At the end of the day, you going to have to get into these fighting games and grind, man. Like, this is just dumbing down the accessibility stuff when it comes to fighting games and what they're trying to do now. It's just horseradish. It's poppycock, man. Like back in the day, bro. Like, I mean, Devin, we were like 5, 6, 7, 8 years old trying to learn how to do Hadoukens and just wouldn't quit. You know how long it took me to do a Hadouken? You know how long it took me to learn how to do the Raging Demon? And that's just doing it. Imagine trying to get it and do it in a match against somebody. Like, but we didn't quit. We kept playing. And these people just get lumped 5 times and just be like, man, this ain't for me, man. Like, bro, it ain't for you, bro. That's why the conversations like this, like, well, it just ain't accessible for new. Okay, don't buy the game then. Go play Barbie Dreamhouse. I'm sorry. Don't just, I'm serious, but I ain't serious. But I'm serious though. Go play
Barbie horseback racing, which I think was a PS2 game.
Man, go back playing Sims, man. My goodness, y'all, like, what we doing? Anybody else got anything to add?
Well, the thing about it is that I feel like, yeah, if you're the kind of person that gives up after losing a few times, then I mean, you're not just in general, you're not going to be the kind of person that sticks with any competitive game across the board. You know what I mean? Like any of them, not Call of Duty, not Valorant, not League of Legends, not Heroes of the Storm, and definitely not like Street Fighter, Tekken, definitely not XKO. I mean, if you weren't the kind of person that was willing to stick with stick with it through adversity, then having the game be more accessible to you isn't going to change the kind of basically, for lack of a better term, it's not going to change the kind of person you are. It's not going to change your approach. Is not going to change your mentality to have the game easier to start out with, because eventually you're going to get to that roadblock and you'll be like, well, forget it. I'm done. I don't care. It's like, whatever. I'm going home now.
Mm-hmm.
I can't, I don't just turn around and go home because, it's just too hard. I mean, I played League of Legends, man. That game is that even with teammates that playing against people who are better than you, that game can be frustrating. It can be really frustrating. Because there's it's just that kind of game. And it's not like it's like a super difficult to learn how to play game. At the beginning, it's just that the higher and higher you go, the harder the opponents you face. You just got to rise to the occasion. You just got to learn how to play. Same thing with Heroes of the Storm, fighting games like Call of Duty. Let's be honest, you're not going to beat somebody who's been playing the game for 2 years on your first month unless you're like a prodigy, unless you're just like galaxy brain prodigy, chances are you're not going to beat them. But even then, like the thing that really is the most important thing is like your ability to just say, hey, I lost, but I learned something, or I didn't learn something. But you don't let the fact that you didn't learn something be like, oh well, you know what, I didn't learn anything this loss, so I'm just not gonna play the game anymore. It's like you get back in there and and if you enjoy playing the game, if you really, really like legitimately enjoy playing the game, you're going to make reasons to keep playing the game. You're not going, you know what I mean? Like if you're really enjoying and you love playing the game and you like competing, you're not going to need to make you already have it in you to keep playing the game. So, it's like chances are, if it's not like, if you were playing like these other games and you started playing 2XKO and you were just like, oh man, like, I just can't do it. It's like chances are that you probably gave up in those other games too. Like this isn't the first time you gave up. This is just like the latest in a long string of you just giving up, at least in my mind, right? Because if you really want to be there, you'll make the time, and you like Rexon said, you'll grind it out, man. You really will. This is my opinion.
Man, you
You
know how
know,
many
he took
people when the alpha came out that was just like, ooh, a League of Legends fighting game. We go try play like 2 matches and was just like, man, this ain't for me, man. I think I'm gonna just go back and my mom said she got milk and cookies down there. I'm gonna just go do that. Bro, Justin Wong did the fighting game community a favor when he was smashing y'all in MVC collection, and everybody was talking about, man, I'm finna refund. Good, it wasn't built for you, bro. Get back on the porch. You ain't ready to hop off the porch yet. Justin Wong did the scene a favor, bodying y'all and just being like, well, that was fun, but I want my money back. Good.
man, he took the words out of my mouth. I was like, to use the term like, um, what was the term she used about like thing like 2XKO kind of being like Marvel like with the controls kind of being, I guess, grinding or whatever. I was thinking, I'm like, League of Legends is that game. That's a grindy game.
Yeah.
Like the controls is like you point and click. So, and there might be some tech skill with like maybe the keys or whatever, but it ain't like nothing like StarCraft. But it's like figuring out how to utilize the characters and do that stuff. Like that's hard. Like it's a grindy game. So it's like, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like mentalities to translate over, but if
Well,
that
it's
doesn't
different with fighting games because you're literally watching yourself get beat to sleep.
yeah. Well, see, that's
Like,
the thing. Like that's the great that's the thing that like makes a difference here. Is like when you're in a team game, you can be like, man, he wasn't controlling mid. He's supposed to go down the lane and do this. He over there, looking at the wall. But see, this it's like it's one on one. It's only you. Well, not totally true, because you can also play with a partner in 2XKO, so it's still got a team element to it. So, like I mentioned earlier, with the controls, I feel like they were trying to feel like, how can we best translate the controls of League of Legends and put that style into 2XKO, and you also have a team aspect. Also, I want to go back to a game, Rising Thunder, which was like the predecessor to 2XKO. Its controls are a lot more simple than 2XKO, like a lot more simple. And you still have people that like you're never going to not be able to tell the difference between somebody's better just because controls are easier. Yeah, like Filipino Champ was like bodying people. You're not gonna come in and body Filipino Champ in a game that has easier execution when he's one of the best Marvel 3 players in the world. You're not gonna beat him at a game because this guy like boop boop combo. It's just not gonna happen. There's a mental aspect to it. There's a muscle memory. There's a like a knowledge of playing fighters that he has, and that a lot of people have, that it just translates. And if you don't have that, then it's just like you have to cultivate it. I also want to mention I mentioned earlier, like Granblue and DNF Duel. I think their easy controls, to me, I feel like pretty solid. I kind of hate that Granblue went and took they made it all the same. So like normal controls and easy controls, there's no difference. Like before, there was like a downside. If you use easy controls, they take long to regenerate. And I don't think there was a damage difference. It might have been, but now it's just
Yeah.
all the same. So I'm like, at this point, you might have just used one or the other. But yeah, I don't think that it's gonna make a difference. Like it's not gonna keep somebody in the game. And like Rexon mentioned, like if it ain't for you, it's just not for you. Like I've been recently playing MEC collection, and I've been loving it. I've played Evo Champs. I played Duck Doe, and I literally didn't get to press a button. And you know what I did? I want a rematch. I want to play him again. I absolutely loved it. Everybody's not built like that. I didn't get harassed in the corner by Sentinel and Cable and be like, man, this ain't for me. I can't. I was like, let's go. Let me figure out this obstacle course, what he's got going on. And I beat some okay people. Like I'm okay at the game. I'm almost in diamond. It's like I like that though. I didn't grow up playing MVT2 like competitively like this. I played it, but I didn't really know like about infinites and the meta, the tiers, none of that. Now I know about this stuff, and I'm like, I actually like playing this now that I'm an adult now. I like it. I'm never. Some people are like, oh man, he's doing the infinite. I can't move. I'm just like, bro, you just got to get better movement. You just got to make better decisions, not get hit.
Yeah.
I know that's hard to accept, but that's just part of it. You know, I don't know, man. You gotta lock in, man.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because like very recently, not like Mr. Game was just talking about, like, you know, you get into the situation where you're playing somebody and they're just like running you over like that. This happened to me a few days ago actually. Like I went to the collisions and I was playing shoes, and he's a jury player. I'm trying to learn to play jury. So I mean, he picked Akuma and he just whooped me. I'm not gonna. There's no other word for it, bro. I don't know if I won a single round during that entire time. 50 matches, bro. 50 matches. I didn't win a single match, but I learned a couple things. But it's like what, like, you lose and like you just be like, oh well, you know, this, well, whatever, man. Like, I don't care, you know. I'm just still trying to learn jury. It's like, yeah, I'm still trying to learn jury. So next rematch, bro, rematch. Like, I'm like, this stuff you're doing, I gotta figure it out. I'm going to figure it out eventually. It maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but eventually I'm gonna figure it out. I'm still trying to learn the character, and like the fit. Like, I'll take it. I don't. It's just like, what, you know what? I'll do what I got to, man. It is what it is, but it's just like, you know, I don't know, man. It's like I said, like, if you have the mentality and you really want to learn, you'll stick it out, man. I still got a lot to learn in Street Fighter 6. So, you know, 50 matches, you know, what's called weighed against like the long-term success of being able to like play the character properly. I mean, it's an easy decision for me, at least.
I don't know if y'all can see that. Hold on, let me brighten that just a little bit. Barbie Project Friendship is on Steam right now for $40.
Oh my goodness.
For y'all who got a problem with anything we just said. What does it say? Join Barbie on a fun summer adventure and save Malibu Waves Community Center. That sounds like up y'all alley. Only $40. It might go on sale by the time you go and look at it.
And I mean, let's be honest, man. I don't care if you got a fighting game and it's like controller just one big red button that says press, and you do like a whole infinite. Somebody gonna figure out a way like to make it broken. I don't care. You could have. I don't care, bro. Somebody's gonna the controls can be simple. It's people are going to figure out how to be efficient, how to break this, and they're gonna do dumb, crazy, cool stuff with it. It's just the nature of it. You like, man, how he got the same button I got, but he did 100,000 hit combo. I can only do 100 hit combo. It's like he figured something out, man. He pressed it slightly at the first, and then he pressed it real hard. It's like, you didn't know that. You just pressing it, you know, all willy-nilly.
Also, Barbie Dreamhouse Party is on there too, just in case y'all didn't like the one about the resorts. That's on there too. But